Howdy. I found this picture today on Google Earth, and the only thing I've found out about this is that it's 3 years old. Location: Lake Baikal, Russia. It is this picture here, and as we zoom out here, you can see that we have been at Lake Baikal. And you will find it somewhere here. I have been watching Lake Baikal many times, but I've never stumbled across this particular picture. Yeah, it must be somewhere here. But anyway, I found an interesting article, which might be related in a way to the picture we just watched and I don't find anymore. It was in the sea or in the lake itself, it wasn't on the shore. Here it is. Gabansky? Yes, I don't know what's going on. I assume this is some volcanic eruption. But since I don't know into which direction this has been taken, maybe into this direction, somewhere here. Vulcano? Maybe? Cryptodomes? I have no idea. But let's go to the article. So that's Life Science 21 hours ago. How does that work? Now. Massive expanse of towering hydrothermal vents discovered deep in the Pacific. These vents are located off Mexico's western coast. Researchers surveyed hydrothermal vents in the Pacific using temperature loggers manufactured by EP Oceanographic. The loggers collected data every 10 minutes in order to track changes in vent fluid temperature that can be used to infer changes in permeability of the crust beneath the vent. So now, scientists sent underwater robots into the depths of the Pacific, about 1.5 miles, 2.5 kilometers beneath the surface, and discovered something unexpected. A football field-size expanse of towering hydrothermal vents that cropped up in the area these underwater chimneys haven't typically been seen. The vents, shaped like candelabras, stand roughly 35 to 40 feet, 10 to 12 meters tall, or about as tall as a 3-story building. The research team leaders from Lehigh University said in a statement, these striking structures gush black mineral-filled water that reaches temperatures of up to 694 degrees Fahrenheit, 368 degrees Celsius. Although the water likely starts out at an even higher temperature, closer to 818, 437 degrees, the team determined. Such high temperatures hint that a volcanic eruption may occur at the site in the next few years. The newfound vent field is located about 200 miles off the coast of western Mexico in the East Pacific Rise, a range of underwater volcanoes that extends nearly from the Gulf of California to Antarctica. We were astounded that not only was this field very active, but it is larger in area and hotter in origin than any other hydrothermal vent field known along this portion of the East Pacific Rise that has been studied for the past 30 years. Daniel Fornani, a marine geologist at the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution of Massachusetts, and the author of the paper, said in a statement. I don't know, I got teach in school the sentences should be maximum as long as you can talk in one row. And I tried, I didn't manage. But they told me many wrong things in school. This we already had. I had to check out the kitten quickly, so where we have been. Jason, black smoker fluids using titanium, syringe style samplers for analysis in the McDormand laboratory at Lehigh University. However you spell that word. As a mid-ocean ridge, the East Pacific rise marks a region where tectonic plates in Earth's crust are spreading apart and molten rock is crushing in to fill the gap. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. Imagine, like, how can it fill up if it's like getting open up at the same time? I don't know. But anyway, according to the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute, don't go there. Very curious little cat trying to climb into the chimney. The magma's movement triggered volcanic eruptions and creates cracks in the crust, allowing water to trickle down into the fractures, get superheated by the rock below, and then shoot back up through the seafloor, forming hydrothermal vents. Most hydrothermal vents discovered on the East Pacific Ridge have been found along the axis of the ridge, the plate boundary where the spreading occurs, where magmatic activity has formed 54 to 109 yard wide, 50 to 100 meters through. By comparison, the newfound vent field was covered about 820 yards, 750 meters east, and 40.3 miles north of these previously known vents. Although 750 meters may not seem like a great distance from the axis, known vents are so tightly localized in the actual summit throw that this discovery stands out as something very different. William Seyfried, leader of the Aqueous Geochemistry Lab at the University of Minnesota, and Jeffrey Carson, leader of the Oceanic Lithosphere Tectonics Group at Syracuse University, wrote in a commentary about the research. These so-called off-axis vents likely derive their heat from a different source than the vents found on the axis, said Seyfried and Carson, who were not involved in the new study. The discovery hints that there are more hydrothermal vents in the deep sea than once thought. And these off-axis vents could serve as a presently underappreciated source of heat and chemicals that might be significant on a global scale. There is much left still to be discovered about deep sea vents along the global mid-ocean ridge, both in terms of where they are located, as well their geological, geochemical, and biological characteristics. Lead author Jill McDermott, chemical oceanographer and faculty member in Lehigh University Department of Earth and Environmental Science, said in a statement. I hope our study will motivate future research efforts to target mapping of axes along the global mid-ocean ridge crest to better quantify the extent of off-axis versus on-axis hydrothermal venting. I have been talking about this many times. That it's about the water. The water is starting to rise from the ground at one point. And maybe it doesn't do it at all places simultaneously. So, the picture we started off near Lake Baikal might be the cryptodome, degassing or eruption even. But I don't know. I have to probably check it out. 3 years ago, near Lake Baikal, was there any volcanic eruption? Hydrothermal vents, more than 400 degrees hot water just coming out of the ground. So, and I don't think this is only possible in the sea. This could be also possible on land. These things just start to emerge, probably more likely in a path of least resistance, which means there could be already some water veins going on somewhere, feeding wells in the mountains or even glaciers or lakes. There have been glaciers once. So it is about the water. Massive expanse of towering hydrothermal vents discovered deep in the Pacific. Very interesting. I leave it here. Got to continue the chimney. Thanks.